as with regards to the fact that there was a new product, there was a new accommodation provider open to the golfing market. So just building the awareness that way, but enabling the membership of Fife Golf Partnership was an endorsement of that. So people were then very able to see, actually, they're a serious player within the golfing market. They're not just an accommodation provider that would quite like some golfers to stay with us. We actually have taken consideration into the facilities. And the first time I saw Hawkswood Country Estate, I was amazed. Being a family that are non-golfers, dare I say it, they had achieved an amazing product for the golfer. They'd thought of so many things but they'd taken a lot of advice along the way, but it made my sale even easier to the golf tour operators.
Absolutely. I think there's the wonderful thing with Hawkswood is the facility there for the golfer is absolutely incredible. From the short game facilities to the driving range, there is everything. Even if you didn't go to a golf course for a day, for any avid golfer, you could spend days, hours, weeks at the property perfecting your game. It really has that fantastic facility on site. So, David, you are someone obviously that is very well versed with marketing and selling the product that you have, the wonderful product you have at Creel, to the golf visitor. And what was it that you did before you were a member of Fife Golf?
Well, we had already established that we were getting very, very limited responses from any print media advertising. We had a very interesting exercise years and years ago when Creel went with our other three clubs that make up Links with History. That's Ladybank, London and Scotscraig. We took part in the Scottish Golf Show. It's run by Bunkered magazine. And what was fascinating was that everybody we spoke to on the stand knew about Creel, knew about golf in East Neuk. And there was a good enough awareness, but we weren't getting the message through that you please come and play golf, please come and be a day tripper and come up with playing at Creel. So we knew what we were doing was pretty ineffective. And we deliberately at that point moved away from any sort of print media advertising, advertising magazines. And we put together a back of an envelope digital media strategy because we understood that we had to cover YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TripAdvisor, Wikipedia, all the rest of it. But we didn't have much expertise. In fact, we didn't have any expertise. And so we were absolute beginners. So we were making very slow progress. And I think the other thing to remember is that we're at a great commercial disadvantage. Ourselves in London, Ladybank and Scotscraig, clubs like us, we're at a big commercial disadvantage when we compare ourselves with the likes of Kingsbarns, Fairmont, the Links Trust, who have absolute control over the tee times. We don't. We're a members-based organisation. The members come first, and we're sort of trying to shoehorn in the visitor experience into that, which makes it extremely tricky. So, as I say, we're making very slow progress before Fife Golf came along.
So if you could just build on that, David, if I could then say to you, so how has the membership of Fife Golf, helped build upon the activities that you did previously undertake? What additional activities have you been able to embrace?
The principal one is the success of all the online marketing. And the great thing is, unlike putting an advert in a paper, the online marketing is really easily tracked. If it's a YouTube video, you can look at the number of views. You look at the reviews, the number of thumbs up that it gets. If it's a Facebook post, Facebook tells you what the engagement is. Same goes for Twitter. So not only is it measurable in that sense, but then equally when we actually when the phones start ringing and the email online reservations start coming in, people quite often mention it. This is anecdotal, but it's still very relevant. I said hello to a party of 12 Americans, and they recognised me from the no laying up video. And the guy, the lead golfer said, "Oh, that was the reason we booked Crail." So that was 12 golfers at £90 a head, more than covered, adequately covered any small expense of being involved with the Fife Golf Partnership. And I know from speaking to other clubs involved, I know the likes of Aberdour, Burnt Island, there are many other clubs that have had a similar experience.
Great. Thanks, David. And if I could just extend that question to you also, Susan. What are the, how has this membership of Fife Golf built on these previous activities?
I think it emphasised that we're a serious player in the golfing market, and it forged new relationships of other suppliers. So it wasn't just the golf tour operators that were then recognising that we were interested in the golfing market, but it was the likes of building a relationship with David at Crail and forging that, so that when he does have these golfers, he's got somewhere that he can recommend as another Fife Golf membership provider, that we can provide the accommodation, the same as the transport providers. They suddenly learnt about us, so we suddenly had other providers that are then bringing that golf operator together and the golf accommodation, and everything worked really well. So yeah, it just cemented everything together for the end golfer.
Thanks, Susan. And John and Mary Jo, have you got anything to add to what Susan has just said?
You're quite right. We are non-golfers. I get my inspiration of the good Lord every morning. I get these ideas in my head, and Mary Jo just rolls her eyes. But anyway, after a wee while, we seem to come to an agreement. The vloggers for us and the exposure, because we're new, and because we were told in the early days, well, by the tour operators, and there's someone on this screen now who can back me up 100% with this. So you'll never do it. You'll never make it in the golfing market. Blah blah blah. And you know what? That's the worst thing you can ever say to me. That just drives me on even harder. To start Orchard House as the first one, to put a short game area in costing 65 grand, buy 2 minibuses, 75 grand, and not having a customer. I think that takes balls, but as you know, it favours the brave. It's a bit like Ryanair at the moment, yeah. And that's the way I am. That's the way the family operates. So the vloggers for us has been a fantastic platform, and through Fife Golf, this has happened. And bring them on, keep them coming, no problem at all. And that's what's made the difference for us.
Excellent. Thank you, John. So, David is obviously the core business is golf, and then for yourselves, golf is part of what you do, part of your customer group, part of your audience. There's golfers and there's non-golfers and whatever else. And we do have, other businesses who are members with Fife Golf who maybe wouldn't ordinarily see themselves as being golf businesses. They wouldn't be one to say, right, okay, the golfer is seeking my business out. And to those businesses, that golf maybe doesn't provide the main source of revenue, why would you recommend joining Fife Golf? And Susan, could you pick up that point, please?
I guess it's the footfall. I mean, we have visitors all year round to Hawkswood Country Estate, and by no means are they all golfers. As much as we've got golfers practicing on the short game area in the bunkers, we can have the next weekend a kid with a bucket and spade in the bunker. So it's the footfall that you can get from all of that. There might just be one member in the party that's a golfer, but you're still getting business from it. And that way we can then recommend to that one visitor, who's possibly the person paying the bill, we can then arrange a game of golf for you and take you down to Crail or one of the other courses, etc., or take them to various restaurants. So there's a massive footfall that level and that market bring to Fife. So it's not just they're here to play golf. They have non-golfing days. They want to do other activities. We then recommend chefs. So there's a whole variety that brings that whole itinerary and the experience together that isn't just specific to golf, but it is perhaps one of the reasons that they come to Fife.
Yeah, I think you know, golf is massively important to the local economy in Fife. You know, the last survey that was done, the figure of 52 million was mentioned in direct spend. It supports 1,800 jobs, and because of the reach of the product, yes, there is naturally a focus in the St Andrews area and down the East Nuke a bit. But we have 50 courses in Fife, and the history behind all these courses is absolutely incredible. You know, some of the course designers, the people that are involved in pulling the actual clubs together. And that means that golf does reach fully across the region, and it does touch every business. If you're an accommodation provider, or you have some other experience, by being able to tap into that golfer audience, if you have a group of 8, 12 people, 4 people coming to the region, they're going to have other things they want to do as well as golf, for the majority of them, or certainly a large number of them. So it provides that opportunity, I suppose, to look at these other businesses and what experiences they can enjoy when they're here. So David, what's your thoughts on that question?
Well, one of the upsides that of part of being one of the upsides about being a collaboration is the networking. Now, Susan's already touched on this, but it enables, being part of the partnership is an enabler for a whole range of activities that otherwise we would really, really struggle to do. For example, if we get approached by a golf journalist who is looking for a free round of golf, generally speaking, it's very difficult for us to assess what the value of that free round of golf is. If, however, it's a contact that's come from you, or you have directed us directly from Visit Scotland, we've got a good sense straight away of what exactly the outcome is going to be. So, for example, most recently, the Average Golfer vlog that took place. And John, it was great to see him up at your place. And actually, as it happens, I learned some things about your place by seeing him up there. And that's the first time I've seen somebody on YouTube using your short game facilities, which look superb. So because the contact comes directly from yourself, we know straight away that works. And consequently, we know that they're also going to be well looked after by the accommodation provider. If there's a transport provider involved, we know that's going to be professionally run. So the networking aspect of it just makes it really easy, and it takes a whole lot of stress and an enormous amount of work away from us.
Great, thanks, David. And John and Mary Jo, what's your thoughts on the benefits to non-golf specific businesses becoming involved with Fife Golf?
I would say the marketing side of things. We can reach a lot more people through Fife Golf with their database and e-newsletters that we just can't simply reach ourselves. And like David touched upon, it's a collaboration between lots of various sectors that are involved with Fife Golf, and it's just a good platform to be on, and it's almost a little sort of family community. We're all here to help each other, and it's a good marketing tool to reach out there than otherwise it's impossible to do ourselves.
Thanks, Mary Jo. So kind of following on from that again, what if I come back to you, John and Mary Jo, to answer this one, what would you say are the biggest benefits you receive from membership? What is the one that you would say that you value the most?
Definitely the vloggers that we've had. We've had 2 sets of vloggers here. We've had Andy Sullivan and also Fife and Lloydie Golf as well. And they were both fantastic. It wasn't just about us, it was about other golf courses around us and collaboration together. And the reach on YouTube through those Vital videos was just unbelievable, and the feedback has just been fantastic. And it's just, you know, it's that collaboration. You can just reach more people through different avenues, and it just drives us on to do what we do.
Some of these vloggers who go to other places, I'm not mentioning any names, because obviously I get right into the ribs, you know, feeding them the wine, and, you know, they loosen the tongue and all that sort of thing, you know. And they have a great time when they're here. And some of them wouldn't even give them a glass of water, you know. It's shocking. It's really, really, really shocking. But they're there to do a job, and they'll do that job, you know. But there's nothing, manners and courtesy and hospitality doesn't cost, you know. If you're going to do it properly, you know. And like David said, if you go to Crail, you know, they'll fit you in, and you want a buggy or whatever you want. They'll just give, because they know the outcome will be beneficial to them. And it was a great thing, David, that we were tied up with you guys on that Sunday one. That was really good, you know. That was a good one, that one. Yeah. No, brilliant. Bring them on. Just get more vloggers. You need more. We need more.
Well, we'll do that, John. We'll do that. And Susan, if I was to ask you that question, and maybe if you were to look at it from a sort of business-to-business perspective, you know, what benefits would you say for maybe a non-golf specific business being involved with Fife Golf?
I think it's the wider audience that you can then reach. I mean, for example, you know, small family-owned businesses or many other businesses, especially in these present times, don't necessarily have the budget to attend international trade shows. But when Fife Golf Partnership are going there, advocating what we can offer as such a wide range, the exposure that the individual business gets is priceless, really. You know, and you do a number of trade shows, you come back with leads. Some are clients that we've maybe spoken to before, but this was just a reminder to them that we're here, and a lot of new leads and new contacts that we can then, you know, build the business and build the awareness. But, you know, we wouldn't necessarily be able to afford to do that international travel. We pay nothing extra in order to get that exposure, and then can follow up on all the leads. So that opportunity is you know, a great advantage.
Thanks, Susan. Yeah, just to sort of add to that, you know, the events we go to one major business-to-business event, which is the IGTM, the International Golf Travel Market. It's run by AGTO. It offers me the opportunity to sit in face-to-face meetings with approximately 35 golf tour operators that have a real interest in not just the golf product in Fife, but the general product in Fife as well. And it's in these meetings that I can pass them the information from all the member businesses that they can, you know, they take away on a memory stick, and they can then pull that information together, you know, and the information on that memory stick is maybe some net rate information or other tour operator specific information that is of value to them. But then what we'll also do, as you know, is come back with that Excel spreadsheet of all the contacts and you know, who to contact and what they're looking for as well. Now that event, for someone to go and attend on their own, would cost between, you know, you're looking about £6,000 or £7,000 for a business to attend that independently. And for me, being able to be there and represent the businesses, it obviously means that, you know, as part of your Fife Golf membership, you're getting access to that same information that you would get if you were there in person. So David, just to follow on from that, again, what would you say the biggest benefits are that you've received from your Fife Golf membership?
I'll give you a great comparison, actually. So you get a request from Golf Digest or maybe NBC in America. Actually, NBC is a good example because we did host NBC. So you get a request, and you have the reach because you can get in touch with Davy Scott at Dumbarton, or Alan Hogg at Kingsbands, or John Grant at the Links Trust. And they straight away within, and I've seen the emails coming in, within seconds it seems like, there is a really, really high-end 5-star experience put on for somebody with an international reach. Now, the comparison I'm going to give you is that I've been with my peers in the Czech Republic, Spain and Portugal, and been in a room with 100, 150 people who do what I do, and they point blank refuse to work together. They see each other as competitors. So the guys that work in Lisbon see the guys in the Algarve as their competitors, so they won't work together.
Yeah.
You know, the people in Prague won't work with the people in the north of Czech Republic because, as I say, they see each other as competitors. The fact that we understand that it's interconnected means that as a region, Fife is out competing Portugal, Spain, Turkey, North Africa, and various other locations because it's a highly competitive environment for golf tourism.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my comparison of how it works for us. I don't have to be the person that has to get on the phone or send an email to my colleagues around Northeast Fife to try and put together a farm trip. You're essentially doing that for us.
Mm-hmm.
And as I say, it means that the reach that these people have is really tangible. And I see the results coming through in the bookings that we get.
Yeah, I think that's it. You know, we really do have a fantastic community sort of feel with Fife Golf, that everyone is part of the whole program of marketing, business development, and you know, we're always looking to work with each of the businesses to understand your business and then tailor what we can do and provide opportunities for you that obviously maximise your benefit, your value of involvement. That collaboration is absolutely critical. Without the support of the businesses, without the understanding of the value of working together, it's just not possible to undertake the activities that we do undertake. We can't have, for example, if we look at the adventures of Lloydie and Fife, who have managed to work their magics this year, round about the COVID side of things, to pull together 16 episodes of content from across Fife. And as you've all spoken about already, what they've done is fantastic, because it shows the golf product and the people behind the golf product, and it shows the non-golf experiences as well, and the people behind these experiences that make Fife what it is. The people that have the knowledge, that have the expertise, that provide that warm welcome. And that's so important to me, because if I go to consumer shows, and we go to consumer shows in Northern Europe to speak to golfers directly, because we think that's really, really important. And when I go to these shows and have these discussions with golfers, they make a number of statements that are simply just not true, and they say things like they're not good enough golfers to come to Fife, and golf in Fife is not accessible, for them, and golf is very, very expensive, and they're just not good enough. I'm just not good enough to come and play golf in Fife, and by doing, and pulling together these films, say with Lloydie and Fife and with others, it just completely helps break down these barriers, because they can see people just going out and having a wonderful time, just doing a whole lot of different things, which I think is so valuable, and without that collaboration and all the businesses working together, whether they be through Fife Golf or Welcome to Fife, we just wouldn't be able to nearly pull together the same quality of what we do. So sort of one sort of point to pull everything together then, just think back over the years, we've done a lot of different activities, we've had a lot of fun doing many of them. What would you say is the most memorable Fife golf-led initiative you've been involved with? And Susan, I'll put that one to you first, if you don't mind.
I think the media exposure has been the most exciting of all, because, be it sort of the media, bloggers, the vloggers, that's what's been absolutely amazing to then see, as you say, the videos and seeing the views that the videos are getting on the YouTube. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's exciting for the owners to then see that exposure that they're getting, which is great. So that certainly from my perspective has been the most exciting. But I mean, obviously the vloggers are really vital. I mean, can you tell us more about all the vlogger activity that Fife Golf have done? Because there's been quite a lot, hasn't there?
It's been hugely extensive. We have, as soon as it became an option, it became very much the sensible option. And finding the vloggers that are right for the product, I think, is very important. And we are fortunate. We're Fife. We're in high demand from the vlogger fraternity. And because of that, we have had privilege of having people like Eric Anders Lang, who's a global vlogging golfing superstar, coming over and doing, as part of a wider Scottish series, doing filming there. We also had the Car Barn guys who were over from Phoenix, played sort of 7 courses in 6 days, stayed in the area, pulled together lots of really, really cool content on that. We had the guys from No Laying Up, obviously, who were over as part of a promotion we did with Visit Scotland. And the thing that I really like about all of them is they all have their own styles and the way they do things. It's like the stuff that Lloyd and Fiona are doing at the moment, and also Andy Sullivan, the Average Golfer. It's all brilliant content because they're telling a story, and they're speaking to the people and they're showing the experience for what it is. The reach and view number is incredible. Millions reach, and hundreds of thousands of videos views. And what I find most fascinating about this when I read the comments sections, and it's how warm the people feel when they're reading these things. And we've had comments saying this is the coolest online golf series I've ever seen. That or that property looks absolutely amazing. I must look into it next time I'm coming to Scotland. Or I've forgotten how wonderful Fife is as a place. I can't wait to visit again. And all the comments are positive, and that's, from my perspective, look at it and say, again, it just backs up how wonderful an experience we have on offer in Fife, and we really need to keep shouting about it and pushing out the message from the golf and non-golf businesses to show what we have. It's just so valuable. So, David, what would you say the most memorable initiative that you've been involved with?
The one that stands out is the trick shot guy, Kevin Carpenter. Because it was a bit different, not only is the guy supremely talented, I mean, how he does what he does, it must take a huge amount of effort, but it showed that golf was fun. And because there were nice short clips, it was easy to digest. And all the views, I mean, the views they had from Aberdour and when he was up the top of Burnt Island, the views were outstanding. Mm-hmm. Why would you not want to go and explore further? But in addition to that, he's a really natural, warm presenter. Mm-hmm. So it came across as totally authentic, what he was saying about each venue. Yeah, so it was the trick shot guy, for me, stood out. That was really fun to be part of.
Kevin was one that I was actually going to mention a little while. He was the first sort of vlogging activity we did, when it first became a real viable option. And I'd known Kevin for a long number of years, and we sort of, within the Fife Golf Board Group, we had this idea of, doing something a bit different. And he came up, and as I say, I've known Kevin for over 20 years. And he turns up in his van and he's got all the gear, and he's got exercise balls, he's got unicycles, he's got everything else. So the first bit of film we do, we go out to Kingsbarns and we go down to the iconic 15th hole over the water. It's a lovely calm morning. It's about 7:30 in the morning. And we sort of said to Kevin, well, what sort of shot do you think you could play here? And he said, well, what I'll do is I'm going to stand on an exercise ball, and I'm going to hit a driver off a high tee. And the high tee was, I would say, maybe a little bit over a metre tall. And he stood there, and no word of a lie, he hits a driver from about 200 yards with a beautiful high fade that lands the green and runs up to about 10 feet from the flag. And it was at that point I just thought, this is just wonderful. It just can't get any better than this. So no, he as you say, it's lovely to see the different contrast between his presenting style and what he does and how he sees things. To say the Cart Barn guys. Sorry, David.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt. The thing you did tell me about him is how expensive he is. This is a guy that goes, well, not now, but up until this year, he was going all around the world. He was going to the Dubai Classic. He was going to America. Now, am I right in saying that normally he'd be like £5,000 a day or something?
He's a bit less than that, but yeah, he's I think he's about a couple of £1,000 a day, yeah.
And the fact that we got him for next to nothing, yeah, that again, it shows you the power of us all working together.
Absolutely. It's a very positive thing, that we can provide that opportunity for vloggers and people like him to come along and showcase their skills on the wonderful canvas that we have in Fife.
And the other thing is that people take for granted, it might be a whole day's filming, but he's got 2 more days of editing before he can do something. The amount of work that Lloyd and Fife and Andy Sullivan and all these people have to do once they get home is significant, and it's not easy to do.
No, it's incredible, and you know, as I say, I have hosted a number of these trips. I've been with these people when they've been in the region and spent 5-6 days with them, and it's fascinating to see how much of an art form it is. How they see things, how they film things, how they cut things, how they can see if they film it from one angle or another angle, when they cut it in a certain way, it looks a certain way. It's an absolute skill. And yes, I remember some of the guys when we were part of the Scott Vlog 19 campaign, and we had Matt Fryer here, we had Zach Radford from the States, and we had Lloyd Greenaway as well from Lloydie Golfer. And Zach is from the States, and he was actually working till sort of 3-4 in the morning to get the clips cut and edited properly by his guy back in the States, to then get the stuff back and get it uploaded online. So they're absolutely committed to what they do, and as I say, it is an absolute art form what they provide. So finally, to John and Mary Jo, what's the most memorable things you've been involved with, would you say?
Well, from my point of view, it has been the vloggers, but also you've all touched on, what a fantastic part of the world we live in, and it's not all about golf, okay? But what you will find is that when Susan touched on it, when we get the families, when the Americans are not here during the winter, because we're all all year, you'll find that, oh, that's a lovely place, Mrs. Let's go and stay there. Look, I've loved the time with the family. He's a bloody golfer, right? And that's why, because I see them, you see. He doesn't tell the missus, but he brings his golf clubs, and that's how it all happens. But yeah, it's the vloggers, and just to push out there what a beautiful part of the world we live in. And I think, the last 2 vloggers have done a fantastic job on that, climbing the law, what's it called? The land of the law, and just the views and stuff. We do live in a beautiful part of the world, and I sometimes think, the Scottish government don't push Scotland enough. There's no, I don't know. We just live in a beautiful part of the world. It's absolutely stunning. And I'm an Englishman.
No, we're enormously fortunate. We really are. And every time I drive through the region, I do just, there is so much diversity in it. I think that's the thing. And you don't have to go far to find the most amazing beaches, the amazing golf courses, the most amazing castles, the most amazing cultural experiences and stories.
People.
And well, absolutely, and that is something that we really work hard through our vlogging activity that we do, to really get these people in front of the camera talking passionately about what they love, and what they're involved with, which is wonderful. I suppose from our perspective with Fife Golf, we look at the other benefits that are available in a sort of day-to-day, activities that we do. So we do the newsletter, obviously, that goes out 5-6 times a year, and we've got a database of 10,000 golfers there, which is very, very valuable. It's all vetted, it's all been gathered at these events we've been to before. Massively active on social media as well, which again is an opportunity for the businesses to get involved and share. We share all the content, we like all the content, or they can send the raw content to us and we can put it out there through our own channels. And we've also got the Fife Golf website, which is a very valuable tool. We obviously direct a number of people to there. And that's going to be built upon this winter as well. We've got a festival of golf which is happening next year, which we're going to have a webinar on just after Christmas and the New Year, to talk about all the opportunities there. So yeah, we try and provide a wide variety of opportunities that sort of suit every business type, which is something that is very valued, I know, by the membership, which is great. So that brings us to the end of our first webinar. I would like to extend my thanks to the panel for joining us today, for giving up your time. It's been very valuable to hear from yourselves as to the benefits you see of membership with Fife Golf. I'd like to thank the audience for joining us today as well. If you have any questions about membership or just about Fife Golf in general, please get in touch with me at liam@visitfifegolf.com. As I say, this is the first episode in a series of 4 to 5. Our next episode is going to be on the Fife Golf Festival, and it's going to be hosted in the middle of January, and details will be sent out about that in the very near future. And I'd just like to say it's been great to see you all. Thanks again for your time, and to everyone on the panel and in the audience. I hope you have a wonderful festive period and a start to the new year. And we look forward to catching up at the beginning of 2021.
Thank you.
Thanks again. Take care, everyone. Bye now. Bye bye.